What is up, and welcome back to 24 Minutes of A24, the podcast that takes a look at the A24 library 24 minutes at a time. I'm Ethan Simi.
And I'm Ben Lawhorn. This week on the pod, we're taking a look forward into award season and talking about A24 at the Oscars.
Ben, there is like 4.5 months until the Oscars, but it's never too early. It's never too early to talk about the Academy Awards.
I mean, I'm already ready to talk about the next presidential election. So yeah, that's 4 years away. So 4.5 months is nothing. Let's do this.
That's true. We got it made easy over here. At time of recording, it is 103 days until March 2nd.
Okay.
The biggest night in Hollywood. Moved up about 10 days from last year, which is significant, worth mentioning. When this pod comes out, it'll be like 90 some days until the Academy Awards, which 90 days feels much more like less insane than saying 100 days. What's up with that?
I think it's the double digit versus triple digit.
Yeah.
Double digits, like, yeah, whatever. We're in 90 days. That's fine. But once you do like 100 and something, then it's just like, okay, you guys chill out.
Too much. Yeah. It looks like last year they were on March 10th. They're going to be on March 2nd this year. So I misspoke. It's not 10 days. It's 8 days. Of course, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on ABC and any partner channels. But the reason that we're talking about the Oscars this week is because, as we announced last week on the show, we are going to be taking an award season hiatus here at 24 Minutes of A24. We normally turn into 24 Minutes of the Oscars, and we talk about all 10 Best Picture nominees with a new guest every single week. And while that is incredibly rewarding and very, very fun, it's remarkably stressful to plan that and to make that a reality, especially during the holiday season. So, life happens, and we think it's for the best that we take a little bit of a break.
Yeah, I think it's the right call right now. Obviously, we'll still be talking about the Oscars and stuff like that on our own Twitters and things like that. And I'm going to do a 2-month-long expose on Conan O'Brien now that he's the host. Talk about him. I'm so excited about that, dude. Him and Letterman were like my late night guys. I'd watch Letterman, then I changed the channel over to Conan because I wasn't a Leno person. So those two were my guys growing up. So I'm just so excited to see Conan come in to host. I think it's going to be fantastic.
I think it's an incredibly inspired pick by the Academy. I think it is amazing. And I think it's wonderful. I don't know when Kimmel was announced last year, but I remember when Kimmel was announced, it was like a collective groan of like, oh, we have to deal with this for 3 more months and know that Kimmel's hosting, which, like, I get it. Last year was different. It was the second year. We're coming out of a slump still. Like, we gotta have somebody that we can count on, especially in such a monumental big year with Oppenheimer, Barbie, things of that nature. But to have Conan this year, I think even his announcement video of like, hey, I've been given an Oscar. Oh, wait, I'm hosting the Oscars.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be so good. I think he's genuinely going to be so good.
Yeah, I think he's going to be fantastic. He did a bit. I think he hosted once before, and he did this bit where he brought Bob Newhart on stage, but had him in a glass box. And
locked him in a box the whole telecast.
Yeah, he's like, if anyone goes over their allotted time, like, I forget what it was exactly, but like, I love his humor. I think he's hilarious. I'm excited to see what he does this year because now that he's not like he does his podcast and stuff, but it's not like he has a show he has to worry about.
Sure.
Like he's kind of can cut free. He doesn't necessarily have to play by any rules or anything. So I'm excited to see how it all plays out.
I think that along with that idea, Conan needs to have a bit this year. I think the Academy would really benefit from a show-long bit. And I know, like 2 years ago, obviously they kind of had the Banshees of Inisherin bit of like, the what was it? The horse, the donkey?
The donkey,
came on stage and like that was cool and whatever. But that idea of like locking Bob Newhart in a glass box for the whole telecast, like I think you've got to get like Ralph Fiennes to be Lawrence from Conclave and just make him do a live voting during the Oscars to determine the new fake pope of the Oscars. You got to get something really locked in. You know what I mean? Yeah,
I think that'd be fantastic. I'm curious to know what he'll do, if they'll do some sort of, I mean, the easy targets seem to be like Dune and Wicked, the more popular stuff that everyone will have seen. So I feel like we'll get something with those, but I don't know. I was so happy when I saw that announcement.
this is interesting too, and I know we're talking about broad thoughts right now, and we kind of shuffled on from the idea that the pod is taking a break. You mentioned covering the Oscars on Twitter. I'll be covering my Oscars opinions on my YouTube channel. Movies Are So Back, so you can subscribe to that, and I'll be doing Oscar power rankings and reviewing each movie for Best Picture, live reactions, that kind of stuff. That's my personal plan for the Academy Awards, because I'm a sick fuck and I can't not talk about the Oscars in front of a camera or a microphone. But this idea of like, what is the vibe going to be / what are the movies that are going to garner the most jokes, right? I think this is interesting because Kimmel has a very specific style. Oppenheimer saw the brunt of it last year for sure. 3-hour movie. I get it. We're going into another year, and I'm using this as a nice little segue here. We're into A24 talk because we're going into another year in which one of the front runners in the Best Picture race, if not multiple races, is a 3.5-hour epic.
Yeah.
It seems to me, at least for my 10, and we will give our Best Picture top 10 at the very end here, and we'll kind of let those lie, and then we'll come back after award season and see where we stand. But it seems like kind of a more like movie nerd year. Like, to me at least, like, you've got The Brutalist. Nora's doing good business, but then you have things like A Real Pain or Amelia Perez or like Nickel Boys. So like, these are movies that, like, even though not a lot of people have seen them yet, like at time of recording, we're recording on November 19th, they'll only get a limited release through the end of the year and then maybe see a wide release 6 weeks before the Academy. So like, I think it's a pretty niche group, which leads me back to the Conan bit. Like, I wonder, what is he going to latch on to, right? What are the movies that are going to get the most talking time?
Yeah, it's interesting because there's no Barbenheimer, there's no like Scorsese movie, like that kind of stuff, which is just like good fodder for that kind of comedy. It's like, what joke do you make about A Real Pain or, about Sing Sing or something like that? Like, I don't know how you joke about that and make it funny. I have confidence that Conan and his writers can come up with something, but it's just like, to my brain right now, it's like, I have no idea what you do with that. That's kind of wild, like maybe I can see Chalamet getting some heat, if he's there for Dune and for Complete Unknown, like that kind of stuff. But who knows how those are going to get received at the Oscars.
I don't want to go back to Conclave, but I really think Conclave will be the butt of the joke this year. Men in rooms talking, very famous movie stars, Stanley Tucci, John Lithgow, Ralph Fiennes, and talking about a timely political system, right? I think it just seems like easy fodder for them to just be like, well, the popes did it better than we did, right, Conclave? And it's like, yeah, that's a good one. Like, I just feel like you'll never run out of content with that kind of a thing. Like, what are they going to do for Sing Sing? Like, right? Like, if Coleman Domingo gets nominated for Best Actor, what are they going to do? Like, Conan's going to be like, wow, welcome back. Year 2 of getting nommed. Hopefully you go home with something this year. Like, I don't know. I
genuinely have no clue. This is going to be, I do think the Brutalist runtime is going to be the easiest thing to talk about. But again, how many people will have seen the Brutalist? Who knows? God,
hopefully a lot of fucking people.
I hope so, but I just like, I feel like a lot of people saw Oppenheimer and Killers of the Flower Moon, and those were like the butt of the length jokes, last year. Whereas
but like Oppenheimer makes like $970 million. Like,
it's crazy.
The Brutalist is going to be lucky if it cracks $50 million. Like, let's be honest. That's going to be a slam dunk home run.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you look at last year's Best Picture nominees, of course, Oppenheimer wins. American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, another lengthy runtime. Maestro, God, R.I.P. Maestro lives on in my heart. Past Lives, Poor Things, The Zone of Interest. A very eclectic group last year as well, I guess. Like, even looking at that, if you take out Oppenheimer and Barbie, you're like, who saw Anatomy of a Fall, right? Like, who are all the people that saw that movie?
Yeah.
Outside of the people of interest. Fascinating. Okay, I'm glad that we were excited for Conan. That's going to be really, really fun.
For sure.
I think it's going to be really great. Let's talk about this year at the Oscars. Let's talk about A24 at the Oscars specifically. So last year at the Oscars, A24 namely had 2 films, really, only. That would be Past Lives and Zone of Interest, of course. They were collectively nominated for 7 nominations, excuse me, and went home with 2 wins. So Zone of Interest takes home Best International Feature as well as Best Sound. Past Lives nominated for 2, Zone for 5. Over under A24 as a collective distribution symbol logo getting 7 nominations.
I think over.
Mm-hmm.
I would think so. I feel like there's some more front runners this year for certain categories, and obviously, like we'll get into all those. But if I had to put money on it, I would go over for sure.
I definitely go over. Yeah. I think it's got to be the over. I think it's interesting looking back last year because they kind of just had a slim slate of things that were like Oscar eligible, I guess. Not necessarily eligible, but like good for the Oscars. So I think the best way that we're going to do this is I have all the categories written down. I have all of the big A24 movies that might be in the conversation. Some of them might not be, but these are the big hitters. Of course, not talking about every single A24 movie. We're not going to be throwing Tuesday in the mix here or Maxine. Just the ones that are buzzing around the Academy Awards. So we're going to go by film, and then by each film, we'll go by category and kind of talk it out, see what we're thinking for each film, each category. The biggest thing of note is everything on this list I have seen. There are 3 films that are not out yet. That would be The Brutalist, Queer, and Baby Girl at time of recording are not available. So I'll give my 2 cents on those movies and what I'm feeling, hearing, kind of picking up. But yeah, I'm interested to see like what you think from someone who hasn't seen those movies.
Yeah. I also noticed that you left off Jerry Lee Lewis, Trouble in Mind. Is that a lock for documentary for you? Is that like,
it's actually a win. It's a win. Yeah. Give it to the Cohen.
Yeah. Don't even bother with the category. Just send them the Oscar right now. Let's just make it happen.
Oh, just give it to him now. Jesus Christ. Unbelievable.
I honestly though, I'd be curious if like, not that one, but maybe Steve, because that's another like documentary they put out. Like it could be in the running. I have no idea.
Do you think, would Steve be eligible because it's a 2-part technically documentary?
Yeah, I guess that'd probably fall under like, would that be like a limited series or something like that? Like that's probably more TV stuff. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good call.
I mean, I think it's fascinating. One point that I did want to bring up before we get too deep into this is last year A24 releases a movie on Christmas Day called Occupied City. This is a Steve McQueen documentary. I bring this up notably because Blitz is in the conversation this year. This is not an A24 movie, obviously. Saoirse Ronan led, Steve McQueen directed. Getting pretty soft to negative reviews from what I'm hearing of people that have seen Blitz so far. But A24 does nothing with Occupied City. I literally don't even know where you can watch this movie right now.
Yeah, same. No clue.
So I just wanted to like touch point on the Steve McQueen of everything. I'm dubious that like Blitz has what it takes to kind of go all the way, especially with what I'm hearing. I know that's not A24 related, but I don't know. I think it's interesting compared to last year.
No, I'm with you.
Okay. Let's go through these movies. Let's start with some of the lesser ones. Okay, we'll start with some of the small ones. Let's talk about We Live in Time. This is a movie we covered a couple weeks ago here on the show. Do you think We Live in Time has any like ability to be in the conversation for anything Academy Awards related?
I don't know. It's interesting because like part of me wanted to throw out screenplay, but I also know that was like such a huge criticism from a lot of people. It's like, if it wasn't these 2 actors carrying this like shitty dialogue, like this movie would not be good. So I could just be way off. You know, the Amazing Spider-Man lover in me wants Garfield to get like nominated or recognized, but I know it's just like so tight with only 5 people. So there's just no way that's happening. So I can't, unfortunately, really see it getting nominated for anything as much as like personally I would be on board with it. But like, we don't have it on this list, but I feel like the same with like Heretic. Like I think Hugh Grant deserves some recognition for the performance he put in that movie, because it like he kind of carries it, but that's also just like me being so close to all this A24 stuff.
Right. I think it is of note that John Crowley, the director of We Live in Time, did get 2 2 BAFTA nominations.
Mm-hmm.
This was a while ago now, in 2008 and 2016, of course. But I think it's important not to forget about the fact that the BAFTAs are going to probably be a really big precursor this year. I think just with the slate of movies and how everything is looking, I'm curious like when the BAFTA awards are happening.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know exactly. I'm trying to figure out live right now. Ceremony is slated for February 16th, 2025.
Mm-hmm.
We'll find out the nominees before then. Of course, last year, I think notably, the BAFTAs leaving Killers of the Flower Moon off of pretty much everything, leaving off some really big movies. So it's something to keep our eyes out for when talking about We Live in Time. It's gonna pull a big over for me. It's got no business being in this conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I can't, I can't refute that.
So no predictions from you. You're gonna stick to 0 because I'm documenting this, and I want to come back to this after the awards and say, man, one of us really went out on a limb and we got it right.
I begrudgingly am saying 0, but
okay.
I can't. I want to say like even Florence for supporting, but I'm just like, I just feel like the category is going to be too stacked,
Yeah, I mean,
maybe a Golden Globe where they split it out and they do 10, maybe, but like for Oscars, I just don't think so.
Yeah, could be tough. I think supporting actress is not that locked up as people think. I think like Zoe Saldana for Amelia Perez is kind of the talk of the town, but with Wicked coming out, and then you've always got these, I think, really kind of interesting underdog picks. Isabella Rossellini, possibly Joan Chen for Dee. Like, you just don't know, right? So I don't think We Live in Time has a shot there. Okay, so we're both 0s on this. Let's go to the next movie. Let's go to Love Lies Bleeding. We wanted to put this one on the list. This is quite a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be surprised if A24 throws anything behind it. It seems much more like a small awards situation, Independent Spirit Awards, perhaps. Yeah. But I know you wanted to put this on here for an acting note.
Yeah, mainly Katie O'Brien, just like supporting actress. I'd be kind of curious because I think they do a great job in this. But again, I don't know, man. Like, I just wanted to talk about it. What can I say? This was I liked this movie. I thought I had a good time with it.
You want to know what's really interesting? You talk about supporting actress, and I know we just talked about it with We Live in Time. I don't know if you were a part of this buzz, but like 6 to 8 weeks ago, before Joker Folie à Deux came out, I don't know if you remember, everybody was like, Lady Gaga, she's winning that Oscar this year. That's going to be sick. And then the movie just stunk. And then she's just completely eviscerated from the conversation overnight.
Yeah.
I mainly bring this up to speak about the fragility of categories. We're more than 100 days out. And like literally anything can happen.
Yeah, it's true. It's very
anything
true.
can happen. I don't know. I don't see anything for Love Lies Bleeding. I mean, I would think that its biggest would be like costume design, but just because you're playing with a period piece, right? You're playing with that
80s, I think.
80s? Yeah, you're playing with
style.
that 80s gym look. You've got Kristen Stewart doing a really good job.
It should get nominated just for Ed Harris's hairpiece.
That's where I was going. I was going to the hairpiece.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. That's what it deserves.
That is what it deserves. I don't think it's in the conversation, though. It's just too on the outside.
You know what? I'm going to retract. I'm going to go back to We Live in Time, Florence Pugh for supporting actress.
You've been thinking about it, huh?
Let's mark it down. Let's get interesting here.
Okay, so you want Florence Pugh. We're doing a lifetime doc.
Yeah.
For supporting.
Yep.
Actress. Okay. All right. Noted in the document.
Yeah,
interesting.
It's there. Locked in.
Maybe we'll come out with a graphic and say like these are our Oscar predictions. That could be a great idea.
Yeah.
0 on Love Lies Bleeding.
0, unfortunately. Yeah.
0,
costume,
0
I think, like you said, is probably the most understandable, but I just don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah. It's just not going to happen. Okay. Let's go to, I think the next smallest movie on here, A Different Man. We talked about this movie, I don't know, maybe about a month ago. This is the film with Sebastian Stan, of course. I really loved A Different Man. I still think it's one of the best movies of 2024.
Yeah.
It's 1,000,000% not in a conversation in any meaningful capacity for Best Picture or Best Director or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I will say, and this is my out on a limb here on my app that I'm on, Award Expert. You can follow me on there, and you'll see all my live predictions. So right now, at time of recording, I've got A Different Man in for makeup and hairstyling.
Okay.
That is where I feel really good about this. You got to think about the prosthetics.
Yeah.
Think about taking a very popular actor in Hollywood, in Sebastian Stan, and doing what he did.
Yeah.
Physically, his mental performance, especially directly across from an Adam Pearson, who I don't think is out of the conversation necessarily for Best Supporting. I think it's a long shot, but I don't think it's out.
Yeah.
I've got that in for makeup and hairstyling right now.
I think it's a good call. I would put it down as well. I think maybe this is it's very different, but this is like what I wanted Priscilla for last year, and they just like ignored it, you know. So I'm afraid they'll just ignore it. But the seeing the prosthetics on Sebastian Stan next to Adam Pearson, like, oh, they did a great job. Like, it's really hard to tell what was reality and what wasn't. So that would deserve some recognition.
I've got I guess we can go through here maybe at the end, but since we're talking about makeup and hairstyling, my 5, I have Dune Part 2, The Substance, Beetlejuice, Nosferatu, and A Different Man.
Okay.
I really don't think outside of those 5, like you're talking about Wicked or Furiosa, like I think it's a pretty hard drop off after those 7. Doesn't seem like anything is really going to get in. I think it would be very cool if The Substance wins. It's not an Academy pick. And I got to be honest here, even though we're A24 pilled, A Different Man is a much more inline Academy pick, in my opinion.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think that totally tracks. So,
but then you've got Wicked. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the interesting one to leave out because I feel like that seems like the popular vote, you know?
It does. But then you think about how Dune Part 1 swept 6 Oscars under the line.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that impacts this category at all.
I guess I just don't think about them for makeup and hairstyling. I don't think
it's costume. It's costume.
Oh,
that's where I go with Dune.
Yeah.
Not makeup and hairstyling. So I think we got a good shot there for A Different Man. Okay, so both of us are predicting A Different Man gets nominated for makeup and hairstyling. Do either of us think it's going to win?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think it will win either. I think just a nomination. Okay, that's 3 movies. Let's go to the next slimmest one, the next smallest one. A movie I'm very excited to be re-talking about in light of recent political events. This would be Civil War.
Indeed.
Now here's what's interesting. Zone of Interest, an A24 movie. Of course, it wins International Feature. It gets nominated for Best Picture as well. Civil War will not be nominated for Best Picture. Let's just clear that air on that right now.
Yeah.
But Zone of Interest wins Best Sound. It's a quiet movie that completely hinges on the sound of the events that are taking place. Civil War is not that different.
Yeah.
Civil War plays in a very similar fashion. And I remember when I saw Civil War in IMAX and I walked away and I was like, that movie sounds fucking good.
Yeah, I mean, up against maybe like Dune and Furiosa as far as like sound experiences. I think those will all be nommed, but yeah, I mean, you may have talked me into guessing this for a win for sound. Like I could see Civil War pulling it off.
I feel like I could see Civil War pulling it off. Let's game out this real fast. So you think Civil War will be nominated for sound? Is that correct?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so
I felt that same way too. Leaving, I was like, that was amazing. Yeah.
So here's the two big points that I want to bring up. On Award Expert, 92% of people that are participating currently in predictions have Dune Part 2 winning sound.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. I think that is totally fair. I don't know if Dune Part 1 won sound. I'm going to look that up real fast. It did win 6 Oscars. I just don't remember specifically what they were. I know it wasn't Best Picture.
Yeah.
Let's see. 6 Oscars it wins Best Sound. Interesting.
Yeah.
See, but then you have the conversation of the Lord of the Rings, right? They gave 6 nods to Dune Part 1. Do you pull back on Part 2 and then send it for Messiah?
Yeah,
because if you do,
if
the Academy does, if they pull back on Dune Part 2 and say, look, we recognized 1, we need to give some space before we get Messiah, because we know Messiah is coming already. It's been announced.
Yeah.
I feel like Civil War is in the slot. I feel like it's in the zone.
I'm with you. I think they could just be like, all right, we'll pump the brakes on 2. We'll be back for 3. We'll let you guys wrap it up with the win. And even then, maybe it's just like, we recognize you guys at the beginning. We know you're great. We're just going to recognize some other movies. So either way, I see Civil War having a chance, but obviously it's a big hill to climb here.
I think you're totally right. I think it's a really big hill. And I don't know if the Academy has what it takes to nominate such a politically divisive film in an election year.
Yeah.
You have to keep that in mind.
Yeah, it's true. Very true.
That's tough. I've still got it nominated. I don't think it'll win. I think if Dune Part 2 collapses in this category and they say, you know what, not this year, I think there's too many other things on the board. But hey, what do I know? Okay. Civil War, we both have it nominated for sound. I think that's fair. I like that. I like that nomination. I think that's a good one. Okay. Let's go to I Saw the TV Glow. This is a movie that I think is one of the best movies ever made. You're not on that wavelength. Yes. I'm curious to see where we stand on the Academy Awards on this one.
Yeah, for me, the thought is obviously for myself, probably nothing. Mm-hmm. But maybe score and maybe original screenplay. Like I could see maybe one of those two falling in for that.
It could be interesting. Original screenplay could be interesting. I'm looking through kind of the stats on where things are nominated. 1% of participants have this nominated right now for screenplay. I don't think it's that unlikely, but I think it's pretty unlikely.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. That's a tough one. Yeah. I just think it's too niche. I think it's too A24.
Yeah.
To be recognized, to be included in this conversation.
So it doesn't fall in like the past lives thing for you? Like it's too far out?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't currently have it nominated for anything. It just gives off the vibe of like, if I gave out the Oscars, this is what I would give. Yeah. It's like not a serious player in my opinion. I think it's much more of a cult classic, like an instant cult classic. I don't have it nominated for anything, and I'm gonna stick to that. Are you gonna nominate it for screenplay? Are you gonna take that prediction?
No, there's no way that I would be the one suggesting it would win an Oscar out of the two of us.
Okay. We'll put zeros on the dock here. No nominations. On nomination morning, when this gets 6 nominations, we're going to feel like fools.
Yeah, it'd be ridiculous.
It's not going to happen, but man, if it did. Okay. Let's talk about Sing Sing. We'll save the 3 unreleased big players here for the very end of the conversation. Yeah. And then maybe we can walk through the categories again and just kind of get a vibe of like where we're at. Sing Sing. Have you seen Sing Sing yet? I can't remember. You've seen it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Where do you think it is in this conversation? I guess first and foremost, do you think it'll get nominated for Best Picture?
Yeah, I was going to say I would nominate it for Best Picture, and then I think I could see it getting both actor and supporting actor as well. I could see them wanting to recognize Clarence Macklin for his performance, which is really good. And obviously Coleman Domingo does a wonderful job. So those are initially the first 3 that I think of. I remember, the script being good. So I could see It's original, right? It's not based on like a book or anything. Correct?
I believe I believe it is no, it is an adapted screenplay.
It is adapted? Okay.
That is currently where it sits on this app, at least. So
Gotcha. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's like you said, there's just so much time between now and then. But I'd throw it down for adapted screenplay as well. So what's that? 4 of them?
Okay.
I think that's
So
probably what I would go with.
Okay, so you're gonna go for Best Picture,
Yeah.
actor
Mm-hmm.
in Coleman Domingo. You're gonna go for supporting actor in Clarence Macklin.
Correct.
And adapted screenplay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any wins for Sing Sing?
Man, maybe supporting actor.
Okay, maybe supporting actor.
Maybe. I mean, do you think Coleman pulls off the actor?
I think Coleman gets nominated for sure.
Okay.
Here's the tough sell on Sing Sing, and I think it's worth gaming this out for a second. We were just talking off mic right before we hit record that apparently tonight, the night that we are recording, Andrew Garfield hosted a screening of Sing Sing with Coleman Domingo, Greg Quadar, the director, lots of members of the cast in LA with a Q&A. Apparently it played very well. A24 reps were there. It's starting again. They're starting the push again for Sing Sing. So up until now, and even including now, I think A24 has significantly dropped the ball on this film. I think the rollout has been quite atrocious. It's been limited for like 6 months. Yeah. They're going to re-release it in theaters in December. Apparently, it's going on PVOD in Q1 of 2025. My guess is that would probably be late January, so they see people watch it before nominations arise or are announced. But not a lot of people have seen this movie.
Yeah.
That's my biggest worry going into right now. With the Coleman Domingo of everything, he gets nominated for actor last year, right? For Rustin.
Yeah, for Rustin.
I think he'll get nominated again this year, but I don't think he has a realistic shot at winning. Even though I think it is one of the best performances of the year, and I think it should be in the conversation for a win. I'm just the 5 that I've got right now. You've got Adrian Brody for The Brutalist, Ralph Fiennes for Conclave, Timothée Chalamet for A Complete Unknown.
Yeah.
As Bob Dylan. Even though word is very few people have seen A Complete Unknown and that it has been basically held under lock and key because they weren't done with it and the reviews are a little bit mixed so far, you cannot rule out Timothée Chalamet, one of the hottest actors right now, playing Bob Dylan in a movie about the changing tides of culture. Yeah. The Academy will eat that up.
Yeah, for sure. We love a biopic.
That puts Coleman Domingo at 4. And then I've got Daniel Craig from Queer, which we'll talk about here in a minute. So I don't think he can win. Supporting actor is a tough one here for Sing Sing because this is Clarence Macklin's first time behind the camera. Is it too small? Like, is this a movie that, not the role necessarily, but like the acting, right? You know what I mean? Like, is this movie too small to warrant, hey, let's give you 6 nominations? This feels like a 2 nomination movie. This feels like a Past Lives, right? Where it's like, okay, we'll put you in for adapted. We'll put you in for Best Picture. Sounds right. Maybe we throw in an acting, Coleman Domingo, but other than that, we've got to clear some space for some other movies.
Yeah, I could see that, especially with like the reception that it got. But, you know, it is, as much as they've dropped the ball, it is nice to know that like at least Andrew Garfield is helping promote this movie if A24 won't, you know, because that was a lot of my problem with Iron Claw last year. It's like, you guys have, the Academy loves a fucking biopic. And I know we had biopics, but it's just like, there's so much here that I think could get recognized, and they just let it die over the holiday season. And that was just kind of it. So I hope they don't do that with Sing Sing, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's really tough. I think a lot of it does rely on A24's rollout of this movie moving forward, which makes me nervous because like they've really got to focus on the rollout of The Brutalist.
Yeah.
That if they want to bring home that very tangible Best Picture Academy Award, they've got to get that rollout right. And I mean, you talk about movies that somebody can watch a screener on the Academy portal, it's Sing Sing. It's not The Brutalist.
Yeah.
So it worries me because at A24, at least I think A24 is going to say, okay, you put Sing Sing on the portal, let people watch it, make their own decisions. But we've got to focus on setting up 2 screenings every night in LA, New York, Chicago with 70 millimeter projectors for The Brutalist. And we've got to get Academy voters there. That just screams like backseat for Sing Sing.
Yeah, for sure.
But I've got it for Best Picture currently. I've got it for actor. I've got Coleman getting nominated. I do have Clarence Macklin in the mix for supporting actor.
Okay.
Things get interesting because I think Clarence Macklin has a better shot, and I know I just talked him down, but I do think he has a better shot because reviews of Gladiator 2 are coming out saying it's not very good. And Denzel is a supporting actor. You have the whole Ridley Scott of everything. You have the whole Gladiator of everything. You have the Academy saying, is it the time to recognize Ridley? Is it the time to recognize Denzel? Again, very real conversation, but in a movie that is poor, I think it gives rise to someone like Clarence Macklin. So I've got him nominated. I also have Sing Sing being nominated for adapted screenplay.
Okay.
I've got it in the number 2 spot. I've got it behind Conclave that I think is going to walk away with the adapted screenplay award.
I'm very curious to see Conclave. It also is giving me like the Killers of the Flower Moon vibe, where it's like, we're going to nominate you for everything and you're going to win nothing, you know?
It's the Irishman all over again, man.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Poor Marty.
Poor Marty. Why does the Academy hate Marty? God damn it, man. I think Conclave, again, this is an A24 pod, so we don't need to get into Conclave, but I think Conclave is like an Academy movie. I think it's exactly what people want to see. And I think it is really interesting to people. So I could see it really going the distance. Does Sing Sing walk home with any wins? I'm saying no. Are you saying no wins?
Yeah, I'm going no as well. I just don't think they'll do it.
I don't think it's got the horsepower behind it. Okay, so that puts us at 3 movies to go. We have nominations. We have no wins for any A24 films yet. Okay, let's talk about Baby Girl. Baby Girl is the latest erotic thriller from A24 coming out on December 25th, the perfect family Christmas film. From Helena Rain, who did Bodies, 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 of course. This is starring Nicole Kidman and Harris Dickinson, my boy. Love to see my boy just getting it going with a hot older woman. That's just incredible content.
Doing his thing.
So I've seen Baby Girl. I'm a little colder on Baby Girl than most. I'm excited to rewatch it with a better audience experience. I've chalked up my first experience to a non-impartial viewing experience because I had a bad seatmate. I had a bad person next to me.
Gotcha.
Very distracting. Thought it was very weird to be erotic. And I can tell you guys right now, if you're thinking about seeing Baby Girl and you don't like seeing sex in movies, you might just want to take a hard pass because this movie is only sex for like 2 hours straight. Sex and other things. We'll just put it at that. I think that's a light way to say it. Some of the posters that have come out today are just remarkably incredible. Ben, are you looking forward to Baby Girl, like as a film?
I like Harris Dickinson. I'm a little cold on Nicole Kidman. So I don't know that I'm like dying to see it, but yeah, I don't know. I like Harris Dickinson. I think it's an interesting idea for sure.
Mm-hmm. I think that
the power dynamics seems so interesting.
Yeah. The power dynamics are really fascinating. I think the script is a little bit weak, unfortunately, when it does come to tackling those power dynamics. But again, I want to see it again. I don't want to reveal any of my big thoughts. We're unfortunately going to miss this release, of course, with our hiatus here on the show. We'll kind of talk about it when the time comes. Now, I know since you haven't seen it, you might not have some great input onto where you think it's going to go. But do you have any gut reaction of any Academy Awards here?
I can't imagine what it would get nominated for.
Okay.
Just from the kind of movie it is and how the Academy would respond to it. And again, like I'm kind of out on Nicole Kidman.
Okay.
So like I don't see her getting nominated. I don't know that Harris Dickinson gets nominated for this either. Doesn't seem like a movie, like you said, that has a fantastic script that needs to get like rewarded or anything. So it's not a period piece, like just all these other things, like the sound. I can't think of anything you would get nominated for.
I think the Academy needs to introduce a new category, hottest movie of the year.
Ooh, okay.
Because I think that this would be the winner for sure. Yeah. That would be a fun category. Here's my interesting take. So you're going with no nominations for Baby Girl.
Over, yeah.
Going for an over. Okay, I'm going to put that in the doc because you're going to feel silly when Nicole Kidman gets nominated. Because I have an interesting theory about Best Actress. Now, Best Actress, I think, is a total lock-in for Mikey Madison for Anora.
Okay.
Have you seen Anora yet?
I have not.
Okay. I'll tell you right now, she's going to win. They're just, I think that it's just like the lock of the Oscar season. But here's where things get interesting, because I do see Carla Sofia Gascon getting nominated for Amelia Perez would be a very big deal. Of course, the first openly trans woman to be nominated for an Academy Award. I think that is going to be a given. I think you've got two newcomers. You've got one in Mikey Madison being the new guard, the new face of Hollywood. Yeah. You're an ingenue, and we see it, and we recognize you, and we want to take this opportunity to say you did incredible work in Anora, and you're going to light the path forward for Hollywood. So there's Mikey Madison. Carla Sofia Gascon, similar vein. Hey, this is incredible work. You're moving the art forward. You're moving movies forward. We want to recognize you for that. The other three spots, I think, are going to like absolute stalwarts of Hollywood. Okay. I've got Angelina Jolie getting nominated for Maria.
Okay.
Demi Moore getting nominated for The Substance. That's a big hot take right now. And Nicole Kidman getting nominated for Baby Girl. Three women who have been in the system for 25 plus years, who have been starring in movies and moving Hollywood forward for a very long time, doing very committed roles, especially with Nicole Kidman being kind of this flip of the coin to Mikey Madison. Very sexual, very brave, very in control of what her character is doing. I see her getting nominated, and I think in line with that, it would be a very cool nomination for the Academy to do.
Do you think she would have a chance to win if she was a good actor? Do you think that would happen?
Listen, I'm out on Nicole Kidman just like you are, but I've seen some movies as of late that have kind of turned me around.
Okay, cool.
Batman, she's very good as Catwoman. Baby Girl, she's remarkably just in control and powerful. And Eyes Wide Shut, she's lights out in Eyes Wide Shut.
Okay.
Have you seen Eyes Wide Shut?
Yeah, have I seen Eyes Wide Shut? Come on. Yes, I've seen Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah, I just, as of now, November 19th, we got over 100 days to go, but I feel good about that. I like it. Okay, Nicole Kidman. So we're back on even ground. You nominated Florence Pugh for supporting actress. I've got Nicole Kidman for lead. I guess I should put that in the notes. Actress here. All right. Let's do queer. Let's talk about queer. Nominations for queer. It's a weird year for sexual movies because there are so many. And queer is very similar in this vein. Queer is as in line with Baby Girl or Amelia Perez, a trans love story. I think there's a lot at play here. And it's a really pivotal moment for the Academy to recognize and make these right choices. Queer obviously adapted from a book. This is Luca's second movie of the year behind Challengers. I wonder, and I know you haven't seen Queer, but do you think Luca has a shot at getting a Best Director for either of these movies?
My guess would be for Challengers, but again, like you said, I haven't seen this, so I don't know. But there's a chance, but it's also that thing of just like, does the double nomination possibility just like cancel each other out?
Right.
You know, which is a bummer.
Yeah, I currently do not have Luca getting in for either of his films. I think unfortunately, director is kind of a stacked year, and Luca is just a little like on the outside of that conversation. For queer, the only place that I currently have it, as I'm scrolling to make sure I'm not leaving anything off the list, is, in fact, Best Actor for Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
I think it's a very commanding performance. I think it's a very bold performance from Daniel Craig, a man who has quite honestly defined his career over the last 12 years playing James Bond, right?
Yeah.
Like, and for him to step outside of that and do something very serious and very explorative, he's very vulnerable in this movie, and I think it is the year of vulnerability on screen. So I've got Daniel Craig getting nominated. There's no way in hell it's a win, but I hope he gets nominated at least.
Yeah, I mean, my uneducated guess would be that as well, was him at least getting nominated. But yeah, I have no clue, but that's my guess as well.
So you're gonna lock that in. You're gonna copy me, is what I'm hearing.
Yes, much like you did me with Sing Sing, I'm gonna copy everything you said. So yeah.
Sounds good. Okay. So we both got Daniel Craig for actor. Yeah, I just don't see it going anywhere else. Possibly production design. We have some really big movies this year.
Is it a period piece?
It is. And they did do a lot of rebuilding of sets. They did not like shoot on location for a majority of it, I believe. So, but you also have huge movies. Dune Part 2, Wicked, The Brutalist, Gladiator 2, Conclave rebuilt the Vatican, Nosferatu. Like you have much bigger production designs than Queer, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, okay, we'll go with the single nomination. Okay, we've got the behemoth down here. This is The Brutalist. The Brutalist boys are alive and well, at least the Brutalist boy here on this show. I just want to know, and I've asked you this for everyone you haven't seen, but The Brutalist is 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
Where are you at on that? Are you looking forward to that?
It's got an intermission, so yeah, I think it's okay.
It does. Okay.
That's what movies are missing that are over 3 hours long, is intermissions.
Mm-hmm.
Give my bladder a break, kind of thing. I'm drinking that large cherry Coke every time. Like, just give me 5 minutes to go to the bathroom and I'll come back.
Yeah, the cool thing about The Brutalist is it has a built-in 15-minute intermission. It is part of the film. And I don't think it is going out. So whenever this arrives on the Academy portal for voters, whenever this arrives on Blu-ray or 4K for us or digital, I think it comes with the intermission, which is very exciting. Having seen The Brutalist, the intermission is a very key moment in setting the pace and the attitude of the second half of the film.
Gotcha.
So I'm excited that you're excited, because I know long movies are just like not generally your thing. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, and yeah, I'm excited.
I think it's going to be good. Okay, let's talk through The Brutalist. This is the biggest one here. You want to go top down? Best Picture. Do you have it in?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. I agree. I think it's no surprise.
I'll answer first each time, so I'm not copying you.
Great. Perfect. That just means that I'm just an absolute loser here. Where do you have it on your Best Picture power rankings? Have you investigated that far? Like, where do you feel like it sits? Top 2, top 5, top 7?
Top 2 with Honora, basically. Okay. It's kind of a 1A, 1B situation in my mind right now.
That's
from
cool.
the little I know about it, but that's how I feel.
Well, now I just look like an idiot because that's what I have.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
I look like I'm copying you. Okay. Best Picture, we've done. Director.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Are you doing Best Picture too?
Yes. Sorry.
Okay.
I am doing Best Picture. Absolutely. I currently have it ranked at number 2. We'll do our power rankings here at the very end.
Cool.
But I do have it ranked at number 2. You have it getting nominated for director. Sorry, let me back up to Best Picture. You do not have it currently winning. Is that correct?
Yeah, in this moment. Yeah, today. Ask me tomorrow, might be different, but yeah.
Okay. Director, Brady Corbett. You think is getting nominated. Do you think he will win?
No, I don't think he'll win.
Okay. He did win the Silver Lion at Venice. So, interesting of note.
Wasn't like Kaylee Spaney didn't she win in Venice or something for Priscilla and then just like got nothing for the rest of the award season?
It's a good question. Couldn't tell you. Didn't really like Priscilla, so I kind of lost interest.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe I got to revisit Priscilla, you know? Actress.
You know what? I'm switching up. Put me down for best picture win. Let's do it.
Wow. Whoa.
Let's lock it in.
Wow.
Best picture win.
Fuck yeah. I haven't even seen The Brutalist. Love to
no
see
idea.
it.
No clue. Here, as far as the acting things go, all I've heard about is Adrian Brody and Guy Pearce.
Yep.
And that they both give great performances. So I'm going to put both of them in the nomination. I'm sorry to like skip ahead, but I'm just going to group all the acting together. I think it's going to be an actor and a supporting actor, which would be interesting given at least my predictions here. That would be 3 A24 actors out of the 5 possible, which would be kind of interesting to see happen.
That would be fascinating. That would be very interesting. I agree. I don't think there is no lead actress in this film. I'll just say there's only Felicity Jones playing a supporting actress. So you've got Adrian Brody for actor, Guy Pearce for supporting actor. Do you have either of them winning?
No. I'll just say no.
No. Okay. So I, like you, have Brody for actor. I do have him currently winning.
Nice.
Now, where things get a little bit hairy is the Ralph Fiennes of everything for Conclave.
Mm-hmm.
I still think Adrian Brody takes it home. I think it is too vast and epic of a piece for his acting not to be recognized. I do have supporting actor for Guy Pearce as well. And at this moment in time, I have him winning. I don't feel great about it because if Conclave doesn't take home best acting, I think Stanley Tucci has a really good shot at winning supporting actor. He is pretty lights out in Conclave, but I'm still going to go with Guy Pearce for now. It's an overdue. It's one of those situations, right? It's where he's never won. He's a Hollywood man. He's been around for a long time. This could be the chance for the Academy to recognize.
This leads to my question for you. Given he's due, is there a chance that they say that with Ray Fiennes and it's like,
Yep.
You know, you got nominated for English Patient, you got nominated for Schindler's List, you haven't won yet. Mm-hmm. And Adrian Brody, you already got it for The Pianist, so you have an Oscar. Like, is that the common thought going on right now? I have no clue.
Yeah, I think it is two sides of the coin. You have the overdue conversation, which is the Ralph Fiennes, which is the Guy Pearce, but you also have the conversation, at least in my mind, that makes as much sense is, hey, you're the youngest to ever do it. We gave you one for The Pianist, and you know what? 20 years later, 25 years later, we'd like to give you another one to recognize where you've come and the fact that you have done something as great and as vast as this.
Okay.
I could see them going back to the well and saying, like, we like to, because, you know, the Academy likes to pat themselves on the back. They like to say, hey, we got it right 15 years ago. We're going to keep getting it right and give him another award.
Instead of going back to the well, it could be going back to the whale and be like, hey, Brendan Fraser, we fucked you over for a while. Let's give you an award. And that's what they're going to do for Adrian Brody. Like, hey, man, welcome back.
Bro.
Here's a win.
That's fucked, honestly. That's terrible. That's terrible. Who ended up winning that? Or so Brendan Fraser won. Who was he against, though?
I don't even remember at this point.
All right, I'm going to pull it up. Here we go. Brendan Fraser. This was the 95th Academy. It was 2 years ago. Oh, this is just...
Who is it? Let's hear it.
Incredible business. Brendan Fraser wins, which is the overdue conversation, which is the Ralph Fiennes of everything. Keep in mind. Yeah. He's going against Austin Butler as Elvis, Colin Farrell for The Banshees of Inisherin, who quite honestly should have won, Paul Mescal for After Sun, and Bill Nighy for Living, a movie that nobody has breathed a word of since the Academy Awards.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely would go Farrell, Mescal. I mean, I heard Living was good, but it's a remake of a famous Japanese movie. So it's like, yeah, okay, you did it. And then I loved Elvis, but like rewarding that was crazy. Like, that'd be nuts to give him the Oscar for that.
You've got 2 years in a row in which the Academy and Best Actor says you're overdue. Brendan Fraser, and then last year, Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer. Yeah. Never been nominated, never won.
Yeah.
Interesting. Just
very true.
I've still got Adrian Brody for now. But I mean, you gotta, if you're reading the tea leaves, you gotta think Ralph Fiennes is way overdue for an Academy Award.
Yeah, I also think Cillian Murphy was like a makeup award because I think it was all for the Scarecrow for the Dark Knight trilogy. Like they're just like, Listen, man, you killed it in all 3 movies, so here you go. Sorry, we
want to
screwed
let
it
you know
up.
how good you were.
Yeah, we fucked it up. That's on us.
Yeah, maybe if the Academy had given him an award when he deserved one, we would have a Scarecrow TV show with Cillian Murphy.
Hey.
God damn, that'd be fun. Yeah. Okay, we're not very far down this list.
No, we're not.
Okay, supporting actress. I mentioned Felicity Jones. I think she's nominated today.
Cool.
I don't think she wins. I think supporting actress is a real toss-up at this point in time. I mentioned Zoe Saldana, but like you've got Ariana Grande, Ingenue Ellis for Nickel Boys. I just think there's too many things floating around that we don't really have a solid read on yet.
So you think she's nominated but doesn't win?
Yeah, I do think she's nominated. So I'm going to put this in the doc. Supporting actress. That'd be Felicity Jones, but not a win. Okay.
Gotcha.
That's where I'm at right now. Okay, we'll keep going down. Original screenplay. Nominated or a win?
Both. Let's do it.
Wow. Both.
Why not?
Whew. Okay, OG screenplay. You're going to go with a win.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So here's where my heart and my brain really differ when it comes to original screenplay, because I have it nominated, but I currently have it in the number 2 spot behind Anora. Okay. I think Anora has a very good shot at going the 1-2, the best picture screenplay route, which is not uncommon, as we know in the past.
Yeah.
I think Anora is quite a weak screenplay. I think The Brutalist is far more effective. I honestly think there's more effective movies at play. I've got A Real Pain, Saturday Night, and Challengers in this mix.
Mm-hmm.
Little off kilter, but I do think Anora has a better shot to win. So I'm just going to say nominated for The Brutalist here.
Cool.
Okay, adapted screenplay, obviously not eligible. International feature, not eligible. Cinematography.
Sure. I mean, it looks impressive from the stuff I've seen. You know what I
know.
mean? Like,
I'm asking you an impossible question here.
Yeah. Like,
do you think it's going to win?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, you're not going to go for the win. Okay, you're just going to go for the nom.
I'm giving that, I think, to Dune in this moment.
Interesting. Going back to the Greg Fraser well.
Yeah.
Okay. Dune Part 1 does not... Oh, it does win cinematography. Ugh, I don't know, man.
Hard to say.
Dune Part 2 is such a wild card this year. It is such a wild card. I don't
It really is.
understand why it's so much. It's really creating a problem. Okay, so you think it'll get nominated? I think The Brutalist is going to win cinematography.
Okay, nice.
Too gorgeous not to. I think the story behind it is too good. Shooting it on VistaVision, moving 35 to 70 millimeter. I think it's building for a win there. Editing.
No.
Not nominated.
Is my guess. I mean,
okay.
If you have something that's 3.5 hours long, I don't know that you need to be rewarded for your editing. And I say this as someone who edits for a living. So that's my reasoning behind it. I could be wrong 100%, but that's my thoughts.
I think that is fair. And I think I significantly disagree. So I'm excited that this is going to catch a nomination for editing. I think we have too much of a toss-up with Dune Part 2 here in the mix.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're not taking editing. I am taking editing. Oh man, the paths diverge. This is where you really get the one of us has seen it and one of us hasn't vibes.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's keep rolling. Production design. Based on what you know, the 72 seconds of the
hell yeah. Production design for sure.
Okay. Win or just a nomination?
Just a nomination. I feel like, something else. This feels like give it to a lesser movie kind of award.
Okay. I think production design, lesser movie. Okay, production design. You're getting a nomination. I'm also taking a nomination here and not a win, which is unfortunate, but I agree. I just think there's too many things in the mix.
Yeah.
I still have Dune Part 2 leading a lot of these categories below the line.
Yeah, understandable.
Costume design.
No.
I do not have it in for costume design right now.
Yeah.
I think it's right on the edge. I think it's like a 7 or an 8. I don't have it in though.
Gotcha.
Makeup and hairstyling. We kind of went through this. I do not have The Brutalist.
No, I don't think so.
Visual effects. I'm just gonna say a hard no on that one.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I haven't seen it, but like, I can't imagine what kind of effects they'd be pulling off.
There is no nuke in this movie. There is no Oz. There is no Arrakis. There is no anything like that.
No Civil War. Literally.
No Civil War. Okay, score.
Sure. It seems like a movie that would have a good score, powerful score.
I can tell you right now, the score is sublime. And the only thing that has me wavering on a win is Conclave, because Conclave is a much more Academy-coded score, while The Brutalist is a much more Babylon-coded score. It's not taking the swings that Babylon necessarily is, but it is large in its body and its big noises.
Gotcha.
Conclave is like this boiling Succession type score that drives a really good thriller mystery. Okay. And that just seems more like an Academy win. But we both have it nominated for score. No original song in this, of course. Okay.
We skipped over sound, which I'm going to say yes for.
Oh, we skipped over sound.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I just skipped right over that on my... Oh, interesting. You have it in for sound.
Sure, why not? I'm going with the zone of interest thought process here.
Okay. Going sound and score. I like that. I do not have it in for sound right now.
Gotcha. Okay.
Brutalist, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 nominations. 1, 2, 3, 4 wins. Director, actor, supporting actor, cinematography.
Gotcha. Nice.
I don't have it winning Best Picture right now, which might be a mistake later down the road. Again, we'll see how this plays.
It'd be interesting for it to win everything you want it to win and then it not to win Best Picture. Like if it won director, actor, supporting actor, and cinematography, if the Academy is that's great, but not the Best Picture. This
is what I'm saying, though. This is what I'm saying about Anora. You could go, and I believe it's the Spotlight route, right? Where it goes screenplay, Best Picture.
Yeah.
You could Anora could take home original screenplay, Best Picture, Best Leading Actress, right? And that could be Anora. And then you could have The Brutalist and Dune Part 2 kind of sweep everything else below the line.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's that far outside of reality. You've got it nominated for 9 Academy Awards, taking home 2 wins, Best Picture and Original Screenplay. Very fascinating based on what I just said.
Yeah, very true. That's almost like it's interesting because if I had said yes to Adrian Brody, that mirrors the Moonlight situation. Picture, screenplay, actor. They won those 3 together. So maybe I need to change my mind on Brody. But I'm going more we need to make it up to you, Rafe. Here's your award. Than the Adrian Brody, welcome back. Here's your award.
Yeah. I think that'll be a really interesting race the further we get into this season. So, okay. We've done it. We have created an exercise that is extremely frivolous, 103 days from the Academy Awards.
Futile, to say the least. Yeah.
I feel terrible about where we've landed. I don't think anything's right. Jesus Christ, what a fun time. What a fun life we live here on the pod. Okay, let's do our Best Picture Power Rankings. This is the one and only. Last season, we got to kind of do them periodically. We got to do them as the season progressed. Not this season. We're taking a hiatus, so this is it. The one and only Best Picture Power Rankings.
Yeah.
On November 19th, 100 plus days out. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, let me go first.
Okay, great.
Let me get this out of the way.
This is fascinating.
Okay.
Are you going bottom up or top down?
Top down.
Top down. Okay. All right,
so I'm following your lead here, and I have Anora at 1A. And I have The Brutalist at 1B, basically.
Okay. That would be 1 and 2, but yes.
Yeah. Conclave.
Oh, okay.
Amelia Perez.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need a biopic in here, so I'm throwing in A Complete Unknown.
Okay, at 5.
At 5.
Interesting.
They love a biopic, you know what I mean? And if it's well done, it's Bob Dylan, it's all this kind of stuff. So yeah.
Okay.
Dune Part 2.
Okay, Dune Part 2 at 6.
Wicked.
Of course.
Sing Sing.
Okay.
Real Pain.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Challengers.
Whoa, I love the 10.
Throw it in.
Hell fucking yeah.
I'm hopeful.
That's sick. That's sick. If that was our lineup for the 10, save for like 1 or 2, I think it's a pretty bitchin' lineup.
It'd be fun.
It'd be fun.
Yeah.
It'd be fun. You get a little bit of everything.
Yeah, you get the popular stuff with Wicked and Dune.
Yep.
You know, you get the artistic, whatever, Brutalist Conclave, Amelia Perez, like, yeah, biopic, all that stuff.
Okay.
They get Zendaya there with Challengers. They're going to want her there, right? Like,
yeah, in theory.
Tom's not getting nominated for anything this year. So, like, how else do you get Zendaya there?
I mean, it's the Leo conundrum, right? You want someone in. Who are you putting at the front tables? Who is going to be on the camera?
Exactly.
It's not Leo this year.
No.
Honestly, who is it? Who is that? Who is that person? Timothy Chalamet. It's got to be Timmy.
Oh, Timmy Shams.
Yeah, it feels a little unfair though because you have Dune and A Complete Unknown.
Yeah, he's a lock, I think, for being there.
You have to nominate Denzel for supporting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. At 1, I've got Anora currently winning. I just think the hype is too big right now. I think it's very successful at the box office. It's got a lot of drive behind it. At number 2, I have The Brutalist. At number 3, so we're going to line up on our top 4 here because I've got Conclave at 3 and I've got Amelia Perez at number 4, a movie that I don't think is very good, but it will be here. Now, the thing that I've been thinking about, and I can't quite leave my mind, is that I feel like Conclave is in a real power spot in the number 3. And I just can't go over this idea that Conclave has a very real shot at winning Best Picture. Anora is spiking very early to me. It is end of November, not even the end of November. We're like late mid-November. Yeah. It is a big thing. Can you keep this hype up for 60 more days until nominations rise? I don't think so. I don't know, but I don't think so. The Brutalist, too big, too limited. Nobody's seen it yet. It's just too many moving components, in my opinion. Conclave just feels like the thing that Academy voters are going to put in the 2 or the 3 spot and say, this was right up my alley. Loved this movie. Think performances were great. The score was great. Production design was great. Like, it just is a down the middle crowd pleaser movie. And I feel like it's got a powerful hold on these other films.
And much like Oppenheimer, it is a lot of white guys on film. So we know the Academy loves that. So you're onto something.
This is true. Yeah, you got to look out for those white guys. Okay, at number 5, I have Dune Part 2. Strong contender, not going to win. They're going to save it for Messiah. I've got Wicked at 6. A movie that I see tomorrow. Not excited for. In number 7, I have A Real Pain. Might be a little high, but I feel good about that. At number 8, I have Nickel Boys. Now, I haven't seen Nickel Boys. I heard that it is really something special and that Ramel Ross will likely be in the director conversation.
I literally have no idea what this movie is at all.
I really don't know a whole lot about Nickel Boys. It is an Amazon picture, and from what I know, it is shot in like a first-person POV. It's just like a totally big, bold take on that. 2 hours, 20 minutes. Chronicles the powerful friendship between 2 young black teenagers navigating the harrowing trials of reform school together in Florida.
Okay.
That's big. And if it's shot the way that it is and it's as stylistic as it is, it's definitely in the conversation. At 9, I have Sing Sing. And at 10, I have A Complete Unknown.
Oh, okay. So we're close.
We're similar.
Nickel Boys and Challengers are our only different movies, and then some different placements.
Yeah. So this, of course, notably leaves off Blitz. We led this conversation talking about Blitz and talking about Steve McQueen. Leaves off Blitz. Leaves out Gladiator 2. Ridley Scott's mega blockbuster this year.
Yeah.
You have Challengers in. I do not. It leaves off The Room Next Door. Pedro Almodovar's next film, forthcoming film. September 5, that I feel like was a really big talk 4 weeks ago, has just kind of slimmed out of the conversation. A movie that's only getting a limited release at the end of November. And I don't really know who is going to be able to see this film.
Yeah.
Of course, Queer, Nosferatu out of this conversation, The Piano Lesson out, Juror Number 2 out, Maria, a biopic out. It's just, there's a lot out, which is interesting to me.
So September 5. Okay. I mean,
I'm going to love September 5. That's the thing. I'm going to love that movie, and I'm going to think it should be nominated for Best Picture. It won't be, but I know I'm going to love that movie because it's right up my alley.
my favorite thing right now is Googling this, and the first actor that shows up is our boy, John Magaro.
That's our boy.
And then Peter Sarsgaard. Like, fuck yeah.
And we did it.
Real recognize real. Get sad boy John Magaro. That's that prime spot.
We overtook, and we feel good about that. Huh. Yeah. Fascinating. Okay. Well, I guess we'll see in the middle of March after the Academy Awards.
Yeah, it's going to be
who was right about what.
We're going to be coming back to this and like, what the fuck were we thinking?
We talk about futile exercises here in terms of like doing Academy Award stuff. This obviously being the most futile is like, this is literally burying a time capsule. It's like, here's what we think on September 19th. Let's dig it up after the Academy Awards happen, where, mind you, any fucking thing could transpire like the second week of January, where everybody's like, uh-oh, Wicked has made $700 million worldwide, and Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo and production, like, it's all getting nominated, and guess what? It might win. Like, that's very possible at this moment in time.
It really is. Yeah. We have no clue what's going to happen, and we're just setting ourselves up here to look like fools, but what better way to go out?
I love looking like a fool on the pod.
Yeah.
Any closing thoughts for the Academy Awards for the next 3.5 months? Anything going through your mind?
I've just been sorting through their rule book to see if there's a way to get Zac Efron nominated this year for his performance last year, but so far I haven't found anything.
Yeah. Came out too late, like didn't qualify.
I'm working on it, but
not enough marketing dollars. Which one was it? Oh, wow. All right. I'm excited for the Oscars. I'm excited for the Academy Awards. Yeah. I'm excited for Conan O'Brien to talk about how long The Brutalist is. It's going to be a great time.
It's going to be so good. I'm
really
very much looking forward to it.
Next week on the pod. There's no next week. There's nothing. See you in March.
Yeah. See you after the Academy Awards. That's when we'll talk to you next.
Where hopefully one of us is very wrong or very right.
I'm excited to come back to this and just kind of see how wild our predictions were versus what happens. Yeah. Because it's always that thing, like once the win happens, like, oh yeah, duh, obviously, like that was for me. That was a lot of Poor Things last year.
It's the Poor Things effect. It's 100% the Poor Things effect. Exactly. Yeah. Once Poor Things won production design, the night shifted, right? Yeah. And so you can have that again here, where something, I don't know, something like Doom Part 2 wins 2 below the line early on in the night, and you're like, oh, that's what we're doing. Okay, yeah, exactly. Understood.
Yeah. Interesting to see.
That'll be fascinating. What a great time this is going to be.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. How do you all think A24 is going to fare at the Academy Awards? Let us know. We are on Twitter and Instagram at 24 minutes of A24, which I presume will still be like checking throughout the break here. So feel free to hit us up, shoot us some DMs and stuff, you know?
Absolutely.
And don't forget to subscribe to us on our YouTube channel, where you can watch our lovely faces talk about the A24 projects. We'll be back next year, and I wonder what the first one, I think it's like the Guinea Fowl one comes out in March of next year. So maybe that'll be the first
on becoming a Guinea Fowl.
Yeah.
Ooh,
who knows?
Interesting.
Who knows? That might be it. But yeah, check us out. New episodes every Friday. Thank you everyone for your support. We really appreciate it. I am Ben Lawhorn.
And I am Ethan Simi. Spring break forever, bitches.